You've prayed, you've waited, you've believed with everything in you, but heaven feels quiet. You ask, God, where are you? But all you hear is silence, not rejection, not anger, just silence. And in that silence, your thoughts get louder. Doubt creeps in like a shadow, whispering, maybe he's not listening. You try to stay strong, try to convince yourself that this is part of the process, but deep down, it hurts. It hurts to feel ignored by the one you trust the most. You begin to wonder if it's something you did, if maybe you've disqualified yourself, if your voice just doesn't reach him anymore. You say the same prayers, day after day, but they feel like they hit a ceiling, and still, nothing. You feel stuck between faith and frustration, still hoping but barely holding on. And yet, even in the silence, something deep inside you won't let go. You keep showing up. You keep praying, even if it's through clenched teeth and tear-stained whispers. You don't say it out loud, but you're waiting for a sign, any sign, a feeling, a word, a shift. But what if the silence isn't absence? What if it's a different kind of presence? One that teaches you to listen differently. One that grows your roots deeper, beneath the surface, where no one else can see. You think nothing is happening, but faith is forming in the silence. It's in the waiting where your trust is tested, where your beliefs are stripped down to their core. It's where you find out what you really believe, when the feelings are gone and the noise is gone and all that's left is him. Quiet, still, but there. Maybe God isn't silent because he's distant. Maybe he's silent because he's close and waiting for you to notice, waiting for you to stop reaching for the noise and finally rest in the stillness. You see, some answers don't come in volume. They come in quiet revelation, not in lightning bolts or loud miracles, but in a whisper you can only hear when you slow down enough to really listen. Maybe this silence isn't punishment, but preparation. Maybe he's doing something in you before he does something for you. Because sometimes the silence isn't about getting an answer. It's about becoming one. Becoming steady when nothing feels steady. Becoming strong when there's no affirmation. Becoming faithful even when you feel forgotten. The silence you hate might be the silence he uses to reshape you. You've always expected God to speak in clarity, in lightning moments, in answers that arrive on time. But what if his silence is the answer? Not because he's ignoring you, but because he's trusting you. Trusting that you'll keep walking, even when the map disappears. Trusting that your heart still reaches for him, even when your ears hear nothing. This silence, it's not cold, it's sacred. It's where the deepest intimacy is born, not in the words you say, but in the space between them. And while it may feel like he's far, you'll look back one day and realize he was never closer. Because silence doesn't mean absence, it means invitation. An invitation to lean in, to be still, to let faith grow roots, not just wings. And if you let it, this silence could shape you more than any answer ever could. So breathe. Don't rush the silence. Don't fight it. Sit with it. Let it do what only silence can do. Strip away everything false and leave only what's real. You're not being ignored. You're being refined. You're not forgotten. You're being focused. God is not absent. He's just not loud. Because real love doesn't always shout. It stays. It waits. It listens. And when the time is right, it speaks. But until then, he's teaching you to hold on without hearing, to love without signs, to trust without proof. That's what faith really is. Not seeing the path, but walking anyway. Not hearing his voice, but trusting his heart. This silence, It's not empty. It's full of things he's doing behind the scenes. And just because you can't hear him doesn't mean he's not working. So maybe this silence isn't the absence of God's love, but the echo of it. A silence that says, I trust you enough to grow you here. A silence that doesn't rush, doesn't panic, doesn't explain, but stays. And maybe, just maybe, the quiet you've been resenting is actually the space where your soul finally breathes, where all the noise fades, and you remember who you are, and more importantly, who he is. Not a God who performs on demand, but a God who is present in the pause, constant in the stillness, faithful in the hush. And when he finally speaks, it won't be because you earned it. It'll be because you endured. When God is silent, trust that he's still speaking, just in a language only faith can hear. Have you ever felt like God went quiet? And what did that silence teach you?